Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the hashtag TBR Takedown 4.0. I'm back in my original setting. I'm trying out different lighting now, so I've got the windows open and everything. Trying not to get the horrible glare on my glass that I had to begin with. But I'm on my laptop, so it might be a little bit different quality now, but hopefully it will be I can. But yeah, I'm back with my bookcase, my lovely bookcase, which I need to get another one really because this is completely full up now. But yeah, I will get on to my wrap up. So TBR Takedown is we had five different things to do, and it's by Shannon at Leaning Lights, who does it every so often, which is actually one of my favourite readathons, to be honest. It was the 20th to the 26th, we've got till midnight. It's 5:30 now, but I'm going to upload this in a couple of days probably, so we've got a little bit. It's okay, people, calm down. Right, so the first one is been on your TBR for over a year, which I can't remember what I did. So I picked Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale, which I haven't read yet. Really bad. This is going to be on my list. I'm going to read this next. Literally, as soon as I finish the book that I'm reading now, I'm going to read it. So I haven't read this one, and I read another one as well, and I'm really sorry, everyone. I feel like I've let myself down, to be honest, but it's just been a busy week, and I think, to be honest, 3 books in a week, I think that's good. I'll take that. The other one that I didn't read was the Bill Bryson Notes on a Small Island, which I believe was for the first book in a series, because the series of travel writing, so I just took that bit of a cheeky one, but I found that as well, so I haven't read this. I am going to try and read it really soon, but it's not on the highest priority at the moment. I've just done a book haul as well, another one for Independent Book Week, which I will be filming in a second, so if I look the same, sorry about that. But some of those books on the haul are books that I really, really want to get to soon, so this isn't highest priority. It might be one of the books that you could dip in, dip out of, so maybe it's a book that I could have on the go with another book, but we'll see what happens with this one. So those are the 2 that I didn't get to, these 2, but I want to read this one really soon, so it's going to be next. Now for the ones that I did get to, I started off with The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I did the midweek update, so you would have seen a bit about it then. I don't know whether to do like a whole separate video on this. To be honest, I don't really feel like I have enough to speak about it for a whole separate video, but I have, because we're using it for our book club for work. We're having a meeting on Thursday, so I might see if they don't mind me filming that, and see everyone's opinion on this, because we all kind of came to the same conclusion that we didn't really like it, which is a shame because I think the film looks really, really good. So yeah, basically I've got these sticky notes in, and I was annoyed. I thought it was a real page turner. One of the girls in the group said it's a page turner particularly because you wanted to see if it's going to get any better, or actually because she found out, she knew what was going to happen anyway. She reads those all the time, and she wanted to see actually is the plot going to change, but it didn't for her. I didn't really know how it was going to end. So from that point of view it was good, but then I don't really read thrillers. But the bit that really annoyed me, the amount of cliches in it, which I think I mentioned before. So you've got the husband that beats his wife, you've got the drunk that nobody believes her, all the different, so the blonde girl that's bird-like described. So the things that annoyed me, so the cliches got to me, but the things that annoyed me the most was the fact that we didn't have any particularly likeable characters in the book, or I didn't particularly like any of the characters. We've got Megan, who's the bird-like character, who we're trying to find out what's happened to her. We've got Anna, who's the new wife from Rachel's ex-husband, and we've got Rachel, and Anna's, like, she comes across to me as like a really I don't know how to describe it, very she's protected by her husband. She lives in this little bubble, and then halfway through you actually find out that she's a little bit vindictive, which is an interesting aspect of the story. But Rachel, who out of all of them will probably have to be my favourite character, even though she's not the best character, but she is the favourite, I suppose. She's described as a fat slob in the book. She was once pretty and interesting when she was going out with her ex. Now she's gone down a spiral of drinking, before. So her ex broke up with her because she was drinking. This isn't going to spoil, by the way, don't worry. But she's gone down this spiral of drinking and getting larger, and she's lost her job and all this sort of stuff. So she's an unreliable narrator anyway. So out of all the women, she's probably the strongest woman, but because she's unreliable, nobody believes what she says. So there are no strong women in this book, except for there's a police sergeant who's a woman, but nobody likes her anyway, and she's the tall, stuck-up police officer, another cliche. So yeah, I didn't really like the characters. I think that was my main problem with the story, and I think the characters are a really, really important part of the story, sometimes more so than the plot. However, there are a few parts that I liked about this. I liked the fact that it was all around trains, and trains were mentioned throughout the book quite a lot. So even the last line was about trains. So and I have to get up early tomorrow morning to catch the train, is the last line, which isn't a spoiler at all. And it's all based around that, which I liked. I like the fact that there's a recurring theme throughout the book, use of alcohol, which is a lot, so maybe a trigger warning if you're not really into that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's how I felt. I might try and get everyone else's opinions on Thursday and see if I can put together some sort of video on that if you want to. If you want to hear their opinions on it. We will be seeing the movie together, so what I might do is do a comparison to the movie, because the movie looks really good and it's got a couple of really good actors in it. But the book for me was a bit of a disappointment, although I read it really, really quickly, and it is a page turner. It wasn't the best book. So yeah, that is Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Right, so the next one I read was something I've been putting off for ages because I didn't think I'd particularly enjoy it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and that is A Spool of Blue Thread by Anne Tyler. Anne Tyler, I thought, was going to be more of a holiday read, that you read it, you don't really digest anything from it, but it's a nice thing to read and a nice thing to just take your mind off of everything that's happening in your own lives and stuff like that. But this was really, really good and very thought-provoking. So it follows a family. You have the parents, then you have the grandparents, and then you have the children, and then you have their children, which are little throughout the book. They're only young ones, but it goes to so you have like a bit of the book where you have about the grandparents, but the grandparents are younger, and you find out how they meet, which I really, really like the story of. Red's mum and dad, I really like that a lot. So you have their story, which was really interesting, and then you have Red and Abby. I think you start with their story, actually, Red and Abby, and how they meet, and how they fall in love and everything, and how their relationship dynamic works. And then you have their children, and we've got a character called Denny who doesn't stick around a lot, and he's a very, very strange character. I've never actually come across a character like that, but you can imagine him being an actual person, which is really nice because it's quite refreshing. It's all about their home in Baltimore, which I'd love to go to, and how it's been passed through the generations and what happens and how family works. And it's just a really, really nice read. It was just a lovely thing to it feels like you're a fly on the wall in someone's house, and which is really interesting, and I always like people watching, and I think this is just like a book about people watching a family, really, and I just really enjoyed it. I want to find out, I'm guessing that is Red and Abby on the front, which they have a lovely story. They're such a lovely couple. But there's a lot of emotions in this book, but generally speaking, it just made me happy. It was just a really nice book to read. I haven't really written anything about this. I haven't got any notes or anything. The way Anne Tyler describes things is very, you can see it as she's describing it, which is lovely, because I don't, as a person that doesn't watch TV, I know that's a bit weird, I don't really watch it, except The Big Bang Theory occasionally. When I read books and I can see it playing out in my mind, it makes it so much easier. Recommend it to anyone that fancies a really nice read about a family. Yeah, that's basically it. So that's that one. And then the one that I'm on now, which I'm going to finish today, and I will finish it today, I'm determined, is Red Queen by Christina Henry. I've got 100 pages left of this, just under. And so far, I'm enjoying it. I'm intrigued to find out how it goes. It's very different from Alice in the fact that we're on a journey for this one. I don't really know, I can't really spoil it with the Alice one. I'm going to do a full review on this, I think. Maybe my blog, I'm not entirely sure. I did the review of Alice on my blog, so maybe I should stick to that. We'll see what happens. They're on a quest from... If you read Alice, then you'll find out what they're doing in this quest, because that's how the other book finishes. So far, it hasn't really been anything about the quest. It's been, we've learned more about Alice's and Hatcher's relationship, which is nice. And we've got some very interesting characters. We've got one character, namely the Red Queen, and there's a White Queen. And I'm not entirely sure how the two are related, which is going to be interesting, because it's very, at the moment, I've got loads of questions and nothing's really been answered, which I suppose is good, because I've got 100 pages left, and hopefully they'll all be answered then. But it's kind of more of a mystery, this one. The other book, you kind of knew what was happening as you went along, and it was a very kind of clean-cut story quest. This one, not so much. It is a bit different. Again, Christina Henry's descriptions are lovely. It's got you've got a bit of gruesome imagery in here, which I quite enjoy with her books. I don't usually enjoy that kind of stuff, but it works in the setting. The fact that it's based on a children's book and she adds this gruesome nature to make it more adult, it actually really does work. It's a nice contrast. You've got Cheshire still in this book as well. You're introduced to quite a lot of other characters in this book as well, which is nice, because if we kept the same characters, if you read Alice, you'd understand that it wouldn't work. I think this is more of a journey of Alice learning about herself as a magician. See how it goes. I'm very interested to find out how this one finishes, so I'll probably read the rest of this later. I tried to read it yesterday when I was doing the independent bookshop crawl, and so many books. I had a bag full of books, this in my bag, and I just didn't really want to read because we were just too busy doing everything. So yeah, I have still got this one to read. TBR Takedown is done. I will be finished this one. So I read 3 books out of the 5. I don't think that's too bad, but you know, some people are quicker than reading at me, some people are not. So yeah, that's what I read. I hope if you did TBR Takedown, it all went wonderfully for you, and please comment down below, let me know what you've read and if you liked it. If you have read either of these, can you please leave a comment down below letting me know which one to read first? It'll probably be this one. But what do you think of these? Don't leave any spoilers though, please, because I'm going to read them both at one point. And yeah, have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye everyone.